roll number 112200 in accordance with Council Resolution 2024 /412. And whereas the sealed bid deadline submission was November the land purchase bid 2 in the amount of, for the property located on Alders Street being roll number 112200, and be it further resolved that council authorize administration to execute any and all necessary documents, including but not limited to the purchase agreement, title transfer, and other related legal instruments to complete the transaction, and further be it resolved all costs associated with the purchase or at the expense of the successful bidder over and above the bid offer. So Tara will go ahead and, can I get a mover? Councillor Jarvis, can I get a seconder? Councillor Kozlowski? Well, no, I'll just fill in the pieces, yeah.
This bid comes in at $7,777.77. This one is $6,100 even.
So, and so therefore we'll need a name of the successful high bid.
Kimberly Gluck Zellick and Bradley Zellick. Certainly.
So, just for those that may not be familiar with this, it was brought up in previous meetings. There was a little strip of land between two properties that weren't wide enough for anything to be done. There was an inquiry by one of the residents about purchasing it, and it was we couldn't find a history as to why or when it was completely taken over. So, in the interest of fairness and transparency, the person on the other side was contacted, and they were both interested in purchasing it. So, council made the decision that it would be on a sealed bid purpose, going to the highest bidder, who was also realizing they are responsible for all costs associated. Okay, so that will just be changed to. Therefore, be resolved that the town of Winnipeg Beach hereby awards a land purchase bid to Kimberly Gluck Zellick and Bradley Zellick in the amount of $7,777.77. All in favor? Carried. 9.2 RFP tree assessment 2024 town of Winnipeg TWB 03. Whereas the town of Winnipeg Beach issued a request for proposal for tree assessment and recommendation report 2024 TWB 03, seeking proposals for firms to conduct a comprehensive tree assessment and provide a detailed report for our tree revitalization project. And whereas the town received proposals in response to the RFP from the following entities: Delamy Rural Forestry, Ironwood Urban Forestry, and Dewdrop Trees. Green Drop Trees. Or is it just Green Drop? Sorry. Green Drop. Okay. And whereas after careful review and consideration, council has determined the proposal submitted by is the most favorable and meets the requirements set forth in the RFP, and therefore be resolved that council accept the proposal as submitted by in response to the RFP number 2024 TWB 03. Could I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Have you all had a chance to look at the responses to the RFP and the comparison? Councillor Jarvis, your recommendation.
I'm going to go with Green Drop.
Councillor Hall.
Green
Green drop as well.
Councillor Kozlowski?
I wasn't gonna go with any of them. I don't know why we did our due diligence before we planted these trees. And they come out to a 30-foot arc. Maybe we can, during the springtime, go and take some of these trees out that have been planted close together. All information again is on Google, how they should have been planted. So my recommendation is that we let our public works go and pull some of the trees.
So Councillor Kozlowski, we have already had this as an agenda item. It was discussed at the time of the decision of council on a previous resolution was to have administration go forward with the request for proposal on this. So it has gone out.
And I'll abstain from the vote.
Okay, so, and whereas after careful review and consideration, council has determined the proposal submitted by Green Drop is most favorable and meets the requirements set forth in the RFP, and therefore be it resolved that council accept the proposal as submitted by Green Drop in response to the RFP number 2024 TWB 03. All in favor? When we have an abstain, is that recorded? Okay. Okay. So carried. Item number 9.3, Fire Department, Manitoba Grow Grant. Be it hereby resolved that council authorize the Winnipeg Beach Fire Department to apply for the Manitoba Grow Grant for the purpose of a half-ton truck for water rescue services to a maximum of $80,000. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Okay, just give me a second here. What I'm looking for, that is what I'm looking for. Okay, so there was some back and forth email questioning. So just for background, as a council, we did approve that we felt it necessary, or we agreed with the fire department's earlier request that they thought it was important, as did we as a council, that water rescue be available in our community. They have purchased a Zodiac and a trailer, and there was some, knowing that they would have to have a truck down the road, there has not been anything available yet from Public Works for them. The fire department individuals have to this date been using their own vehicle to hook up to the Zodiac. The fire chief will not be continuing to be expecting fire department employees to be continuing to use their truck. And so they are looking at submitting a request for the grant. There was some emails back and forth that CNO shared because there were some questions about where money was coming from, lottery money. So this year they were successful in banking $75,000 from the lottery. The agreement with Liquors and Lotteries states that the funds are for the purchase of fire department equipment. So it isn't just the trucks or that have been discussed. They are able to use the funds for lottery, any fire department equipment. The fire truck debenture, the earliest we would probably be looking at that is 2026. They were late starting the lottery this year and still managed to raise $75,000. A sellout of next year's lottery would be an additional $150,000. Yeah, approximately $150,000. So what they're looking at doing is requesting the grant. It is a matching grant. And then, we would be upfronting, the other half of the purchase. At which point in time, then they would immediately be, taking the money from their lottery funds back to the town for our share. There's no guarantee they're going to get it, but they would like to make this attempt to help reduce the cost of having to purchase a truck for the Zodiac. Councilor Jarvis, any comments?
No, I'm gonna abstain though, because I voted against the Zodiac initially, and I think it was crazy if I voted for a truck when it's something I didn't want. I'll abstain from it.
Okay, Councilor Jarvis, you are still welcome to vote against it if you want to vote and have your vote heard as opposed to abstain.
No, I can stay with. Yeah, thank you.
Councilor Holm.
I don't have comments, wait for the vote. I'm good.
So, let me understand this correctly. If they don't get the donation, they'll use half of their lottery winnings and the town will put in the other.
No. So right now, as it stands, we're not actually making a financial commitment. What it is the way the lottery funds are set up, okay? The equipment has to be purchased and then they would reimburse us. So I'm just gonna use numbers for explanation. Let's say they get a grant for $40,000 and they find a truck, once it's all equipped with everything, that's $80,000. The town will have to make the purchase for them with the grant because it's actually the town of making the application for the grant. We would go ahead and purchase the truck using the $40,000 for the grant. The fire department then, once it's purchased, would reimburse us for that. So the taxpayers would not be out any money for this. It's just a logistics of how the lottery rules are written and how the grant rules are written. Okay. Ready to vote? All in favor? Carried. Uh, 10.1, our 2025 emergency plan. Be it resolved that council for the town of Winnipeg Beach approve the 2025 emergency plan as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Councilor Jarvis, second by Councilor Hall. Any discussion, questions? All in favor? Carried. 10.2, Manitoba Softball Hall of Fame and Museum. Whereas request for support has been received by the town of Winnipeg Beach, therefore be resolved that council for the town of Winnipeg Beach authorize support in the form of blank. Could I get a mover, please? Councilor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councilor Kozlowski. Comments? Councilor Kozlowski, we'll go this way. Any thoughts on this?
I'm just waiting for this to refresh right now. I'd like to give them a donation. I think earlier it was a quarter page. It's just coming slow. I'm just waiting for it to refresh.
Hold on, yeah, I got that.
I think the quarter page was what, 250? I didn't think we did these two. Or no, full page is 250, quarter page is 1.5.
Okay, so Councilor Kozlowski, you'd like to see us start supporting this group and go with the $250?
$125, quarter page.
$125
Yeah,
quarter page?
the cards hit me from the
Councilor Hall,
Yeah, I'm okay with a quarter page.
Councilor Jarvis?
I'm okay with that.
So, quarter page at 125? All in favor? I should have asked him before that final vote. Do we have that much? Foundation New Year's Eve support. Whereas a request for a donation has been received by the town of Winnipeg Beach, therefore be it resolved, the council for the town of Winnipeg Beach authorize a donation in the amount of blank to the West Shore Foundation representing blank sponsor level. And further be it resolved, depending on what we say above, that if there are tickets and no one wanting to attend, maybe I should just read that part of it right now.
I would think so.
Yeah, let me start again, please. Whereas a request for a donation has been received by the town of Winnipeg Beach, therefore be it resolved that council for the town of Winnipeg Beach authorize a donation in the amount of blank to the West Shore Community Foundation representing blank sponsor level. Could I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Okay, so last year, we did make a donation at gold level, which was $500, and that did include 2 tickets to the New Year's Eve event. First of all, is there anyone here at the table wanting to go to the New Year's Eve event? Yeah. So then what we did was we also donated the tickets back, asking them to please provide them to a volunteer of theirs. Do we have the money to support this at the $500 level? Oh, okay. Okay, so is everyone good with the gold? Same as last year? It was still in the budget for us to continue to support it? Okay, so then, in the amount of $500 representing gold sponsor level, and further be it resolved, the tickets be donated back to the West Shore Community Foundation to be distributed to a volunteer. All in favor? Anonymous donation received. Whereas an anonymous donation for the restoration of the caboose was received in the amount of $1,000, and whereas all planned restoration in 2024 has been completed, therefore be it resolved that council authorize the transfer of $1,000 to the Economic Development Reserve in 2024 for use at a later date. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Seconder? Councillor Vogel. I would like to thank this anonymous individual who put $1,000 cash in an envelope and mailed it to us with a note. All in favor? 10.5 Interlake Wave support, Interlake Wave 2025 support. Be it resolved that council authorize support of the 2025 Interlake Wave artist studio tour in the amount of blank representing blank. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis, seconder. Councillor Cole. One of us has notes on this, Sarah, I know that.
Yeah.
Is it near you?
Yours from neither one of us, but that's okay because our.
No, yes, I
You wrote
did.
it down. Quarter page is what we did
Yeah,
last year.
so last year we did a quarter page ad, and actually the cost went down a little bit, didn't it?
Well, because these are the early bird rates, so it's down, well, $5.
Yeah.
It's, no, it's not.
Yeah, so quarter page
This is
ad on the early bird price is $385
Plus GST.
plus USD. Everyone okay with continuing to support the
What we did last year, right? Same as last year.
things last year? So quarter page ad. All in favor? Carried. 10.6 Food Connection request. Whereas a request has been received to allow the Food Connection to expand their space and add it to the current lease agreement. Therefore be it resolved that council agree or disagree to allow the expansion to have the current lease amended to include said space and authorize administration to sign a new lease agreement. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. I'm going to turn this over to Sarah to just speak to the situation.
Okay. So currently the Food Connection is using that lunchroom, which is fine. Nobody else is in there right now. With the changes in staffing and the fact that no decision has been made for that space yet, I don't know that signing a whole new lease is in your bound. And if space.
commitment.
Right, we have no problem with it,
None.
but what we can do is have the alarm company come in and see if they can't coordinate those two rooms. If there's a concern with the fact that people can get in.
Councilor Jarvis.
They have their own washroom there too.
No,
No.
then that's part of the issue, right? So that is why.
Yeah, that's, because I always thought that they had their own washroom.
No, because when the request was put in for them originally to go in there, it was requested to be closed off, right? So that it was kind of segregated from the rest of the building. The bathroom's on the wrong side
But
of
if
the
we
door.
open up the lunchroom, will that expose the washroom?
Yeah, well,
Because they're just using the storage, right, in the back?
right, but they have access to the washroom facilities, which, how do you
Right.
not?
Yeah, so,
And they have access to it, that's not that they don't. But they want to make it more permanent.
Yeah, so what the issue, Councilor Jarvis, is there was some consideration being done about making some administration movement to back there, removing, the CAO position out of the hubbub of all of the ins and outs. And so we haven't made any decisions yet what we're doing with that area. I'm hoping we can make those decisions come budget discussions in 2025. And once we know what the administration is gonna look like. So just body wise and who's gonna be where. So right now they're using it on an informal basis. And so I don't know whether it is a good idea to be formalizing it more into the agreement when we don't know what's going on. I think it's much similar to the resource center that's going to be going in there that now they will have an agreement, but that we're okay with this for now. This may not be what the situation is when we make some decisions on what we're doing with that space. So it's certainly not that we're saying, no, they can't continue to use it. We just don't think it's appropriate at this point, or at least I don't, and the interim CAO doesn't think that it's appropriate at this point to be formalizing it. Just continue to allow them to do what they're doing.
I don't think it should be formalized. I was trying to refresh my memory as to how far they can come up, because I know that the very back end where they come in, and that used to be storage.
Yeah.
And then as you progressed, on the west side would be a staff room, and on the east side, the next
Right.
would be the washroom that you'd be exposed to.
Right, so we put the wall just before
The
the
lunchroom. So are we extending the wall now just past the lunchroom?
Well,
Or just
when we
leaving it
extended
formal?
the wall, that's a permanent wall. That wall is there to stay.
But we're gonna expose the rest of the.
Right,
No,
which
well-
essentially it is now.
Yeah,
But it is, sorry, can I just get
Yeah.
clarification, is it only during working hours that they have access to that right now? Yeah, they only have access to it during working hours, and because of the configuration of some things, that's the only time they can have access to it right now.
But this door would still be locked.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Because I was under the impression they had problems with access to washroom, et cetera, but this would,
Initially, yeah.
this would, by opening that wall, would expose them to a washroom. So-
Correct.
Okay, good.
So then we want, is
If
any,
one of-
Councilor Slosky?
Yeah, I asked last month or maybe 2 months ago about if we were doing anything with the old bank building, and the CAO at the time said she was too busy to look at it at the time. Now, is anyone else using that building besides the food connection?
Not at this point, no.
So nobody else is using it?
Not at this point.
Yeah, so I got no problem with access for the washroom.
Well, they have that.
Yeah, and continue.
No, what we're saying, what they're asking is
Yeah,
for
they
us
wanted
to
to build it
formalize
into
it,
the contract.
and
Well,
we're not,
Yeah, you don't want to do it
the
because we
recommendation
don't
by
know
the
what's going
CAO
on.
is the discussion is,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's.
we don't want to be
Continue
formalizing
using
it, they
it.
can continue
Yeah.
to use it the way they're using it. We
Continue
just
on.
are not going to continue it, so then the resolution will read, therefore be it resolved that council does not agree to allow the expansion to have the current lease amended to include said space and authorize administration to sign into it, so we do not allow it. Okay? Do we need to add anything that we will continue with the informal and that, but that we will continue with the informal agreement as it currently stands. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Sorry, a member of the gallery just raised their hand. They are not entitled to vote, and there is no discussion allowed either. 10.7. I wasn't sure whether you thought you were voting there or not. Sorry. 10.7, tax overpayment refund request. Whereas roll 131200 has made an overpayment to the tax account, and whereas there are no outstanding charges to the account associated with roll 131200, therefore be it resolved that council approve the overpayment refund request in the amount of $190 for tax roll number 131200. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Cole, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Jarvis. All in favor? 10.8, land branch application permit 74889. Whereas council received change in use application from land branch general permit number 74889 for review and comment. And whereas council has reviewed, therefore be it resolved that council in the town of Winnipeg Beach issue the following comment. Could I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Any comments? Or is our comment no comment? No comment? All in favor? 10.9, Weathershows 2025 Boardwalk Days request. Whereas council passed resolution 2021-175 on July 28, 2021, authorizing the CAO to sign an agreement on behalf of the town of Winnipeg Beach, extending the previous Boardwalk Days agreement to include the dates for 2025, July 18th to 20th, and 26th, July 17th to 19th, 25 Boardwalk Days. And whereas Weathershows is hereby requesting an amendment to the agreement dates for 2025 to be July 25th to 27th, 25, and issue an revised agreement for signing. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve and give permission to the CAO to sign agreement for a date amendment. Can I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Okay, Councillor, Richard, go first. Any comments?
Yeah, this is just like a date thing, correct?
It is.
So this would be like an amendment to an existing
That is
Yeah.
correct.
contract,
Right, yeah,
which in no way would reflect on any other part of the contract.
that's correct.
Did they give us a reason why they wanted
They
to?
did not.
They just requested that the date be changed for next year only.
Councillor Hall?
Yeah, I got no problems.
I got no problem.
Okay, I have a problem. I have a problem for two reasons. Initially, they're the ones that wanted to get into the 2025-2026 arrangement. And secondly, there are countless people that have booked accommodations to come to this town for Boardwalk Days on the week that Boardwalk Days has been advertised and planned for. That's my thought. And considering they initially requested that we extend it for 2 years, now they're turning around. The contract, did you provide them all a copy of the contract?
Sure.
Yeah, so you have a copy of the contract. I've looked at it. There is no out clause other than basically a natural disaster or the owner dying. So it's not like they have an out if we don't change these dates. Councillor Jarvis.
And I understand exactly where you're coming from on that, because historically, you've always set your watch that Boardwalk Days is the third weekend in July. Oh, it's history. Like, you don't even have to know the dates, you just automatically assume that the third weekend in July is Boardwalk.
So,
So I agree, I never thought of that.
yeah. So the resolution as it reads is is that council approve and give permission to the CEO to sign the said agreement for a date amendment. So all in favor of the date change? All opposed? Not carried.
Yeah, I also noted that date change was from the Thursday to Saturday instead of the Friday to Sunday, correct?
That could be a second.
Which might not be good for the weekenders, right?
Well, it's just not a good thing, period, for.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking
Yeah.
at the days of like Thursday to Saturday
They've
instead of
done that.
Friday to Sunday.
25th, 26th, 27th, that is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they haven't changed the days. It was the weekend they wanted to change.
Yeah.
Okay, not carried. Lakeside Seniors Club, be it hereby resolved that council approves Deputy Mayor Jen Brown to attend the Winnipeg Beach Lakeside Seniors Club Christmas dinner being held in Winnipeg, at the Winnipeg Beach Legion on Monday, December 9th at 12:30. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Paul. All in favor? Carried. 10.11, council late submission of expenses. Be it hereby resolved that council authorize the payment of council expenses that pass the allotted 90-day period in the amount of $201.05. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Discussions? Comments? Okay. The bylaw clearly states 90 days. Therefore, unfortunately, it has nothing to do with dollar amount, but to do with the bylaw. Unfortunately, for those reasons, I can't support this. All in favor of making the payments? Opposed? Carried. Item 10.12, Royal Canadian Legion Military Recognition Book. Be it hereby resolved that council authorize a blank ad in the 16th Annual Military Service Recognition Book at a cost of blank. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski. So this is something we do annually. We just actually got a copy of the book that's in the office if anybody wants to take a look at it. We planned for this, I believe. Yes. And this is the one that I think cost went down on this one as well. So we normally did a quarter page ad. If we do a quarter page ad, 400. Yeah. I did. The question is where? Is that yours or mine? Okay, sorry. Where did mine go there?
Yeah, there were no prices attached to our.
Well, that's the thing, I had a heck of a time finding it earlier today when we were going through this.
You could open the attachment.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, because the attachment wasn't there.
All my computer space.
Quarter page ad for $385.
That's what it's been 500 and change last year.
Yeah, it's gone down too. Okay.
Just for also clarification, that's the Manitoba Northwest.
For 385, right? All in favor? Carried. 10.14 holiday office closure. Be it resolved that council authorize the following office closures for the holiday season, week of December 23rd.
It's 10,
It's
10.13.
10.13.
Oh, that's why I don't have it. Okay, sorry. Past new former councillor Darlene Srico. After brief illness on November the 11th, Winnipeg Beach lost a great community volunteer, former councillor, but most importantly, a wife, mother and grandmother in Darlene's Creek. Winnipeg Beach got very lucky when Darlene decided to make the move south from Gimli when she married her husband Ori. She spent countless hours volunteering in the community while raising 3 rambunctious boys, including volunteering during the fundraising and construction of our community center. Darlene was also the driving force behind our annual Halloween dance for the kids and was greatly missed at this year's event. Darlene was also a pioneer for women in Manitoba municipal politics and served on council from 1989 to 1995, and then again from 2014 to 2018. In addition to her time on council, Darlene spent time assisting those interested in running for council with their campaigns and mentoring new councillors, myself included. On behalf of council and the staff, I would like to pass our condolences on to her husband Ori, sons Brad, Chad, and Derek, and their families. Holiday office closure. Be it resolved that council authorize the following office closures for the holiday season. The week of December 23rd to Friday, December 27th, and Monday, December 30th to Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis, could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. Any questions? Comments?
It's inclusive, right?
Yes, it is, yeah. All in favor? Yeah. All in favor?
But it's the same.
Carried. 10.15, statement of assets and interests. So we are required to annually complete a form. Tara has provided us all with a copy of the form. The deadline for those as per the policy is the 30th of November. So please be sure to return it to Tara before the 30th. 10.16, memorandum of understanding, Legion Branch 61 and East Interlake Emergency Measures Board. Be it hereby resolved that the interim CEO be authorized to sign the memorandum of understanding on behalf of East Interlake Emergency Measures Board, TWB, between the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 61 and East Interlake Emergency Measures Board, TWB, for shelter and sustenance services to evacuees. Could I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hall. So, we're very fortunate that the Legion does have a backup generator in the event of an emergency, which is why we're entering into this agreement with them. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. 12.7, committee reports and approvals. So we have the definition of Winnipeg Beach, the Selkirk District. No, I'm in the wrong spot. I am. Committee reports. We have the canteen report. We have Destination Winnipeg Beach strategic roadmap session summary and Destination Winnipeg Beach branding overview. Bylaw enforcement report, the animal control officers October cat report, and the MEC report. Any comments or questions on these? Councillor Kozlowski.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with her canteen report. I don't like her chastising some of the council members here in regards to us asking staff questions. Do not indicate to them how to do their job or what to do. My questions, when I asked, were mostly about the skating numbers. So this week I will be putting in a written complaint against our rec manager, and hopefully this does not happen again. Also concerned with the nepotism shown by her as well.
Councillor Kozlowski, I'm going to stop you. These are personnel matters that you were discussing, and they need to be discussed in camera. I will
Then
remind
that
you.
should have been discussed in camera as well, that canteen report.
I will remind you and the rest of council that this has been raised before. Council is not employees of the town, and it is not in-camera discussion.
Not in camera.
Not when it is about council. No, it is not in-camera discussion.
So when is it discussed?
It is discussed in open meetings.
That's what,
with an employee. That is in-camera discussion.
You just said it wasn't.
I said discussion about counselors. We are employees, items in, legal, employees, and preliminary, items in preliminary discussion with contracts are the three grounds for in-camera issues. Members of council are not an employee of the town. We are not protected by in-camera discussion. It is external. This was discussed at great length a few meetings ago, the meeting at which the former mayor resigned, and it was confirmed by the CAO. We are not employees protected for in-camera discussion. Employees of the town are. If you have want to file a complaint or you have a concern, that needs to be directed with the interim CAO, not in an open camera meeting. And I would like to ask Councillor Kozlowski that you apologize to the employee right now with regards to the comment. Okay, pardon me?
I'm not apologizing. She's got a report in there about council asking questions.
Excuse me, Councillor Kozlowski, that she is entitled to put that in a report on the agenda. You are not entitled to be critical of staff in an open meeting. I will ask you again to please
Okay, if I'm out
apologize to
of
the
line,
employee.
I will take it up with you.
No, I am asking you to apologize to the employee for your misunderstanding of what is and is not in-camera discussion.
And maybe I misunderstood what we can and what we can't do. I still got a problem with us communicating properly with our staff.
And as I appreciate you acknowledging your misunderstanding, and that does need to go to the
So
CAO.
I'll bring it to
Okay,
the CAO.
I had a note here. This is a reminder to all of us, myself included. I got called out the other day for something I said because it should not have been said in front of an employee. So it's a reminder for all of us that we need to be going through the CAO.
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Councillor Jarvis.
I was one of the councillors asking questions, and I had
And
none. I'm not saying,
Yeah, okay.
I
That's
was
fine.
one, and everybody was aware in the meeting that I was to discuss things with Carissa, and I had a couple of questions.
So this is now turning into a discussion about an employee.
I
So we will end.
just want to say that I had permission to ask questions.
We will end this discussion. It is not on the agenda for an in-camera item, so it will have to wait until the next meeting. Because it was not added to the agenda, okay? Anything else on the reports? Councillor Jarvis?
I hate to mention it.
Oh, well,
The
you
cap,
yeah,
and cap report?
yeah, you missed the A&M. It is not only an issue for us. There was a resolution, I was going to bring it up at roundtable, but if you give me a second.
We'll wait for it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
There
just-
we go. It is not a
and
problem
again,
for us.
I'm not gonna expound on it, but this has like been going on for 2 years.
No,
Yeah.
but it is apparently an issue right across the province to the point where AMN has, a resolution was put forward to ask AMN to lobby the province to make some changes and help with some costs, so, okay? Anything else? Anything else?
No.
And for those of you new to watching our meetings, our apologies for the side laugh, but as Councillor Jarvis indicated, cats have been a problem for a while. Okay, so, be it resolved that council accept the committee reports as presented. Councillor Jarvis, seconded. Councillor Hall, all in favor? Carried. Council,
For committee reports?
council committee and board reports?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, no, we're just there now.
Okay.
That was,
I thought you said-
yeah, no, sorry.
I thought you said committee.
Oh, okay, so, hereby be resolved that council approve the council committee and board reports as presented. Can I get a mover? Councillor Jarvis, can I get a seconder? Councillor Cole. Okay. Councillor Kozlowski, you have something to report?
Yes, from the Gimli seniors, wasn't at this one because I had AMM, but there was an email directed to us. Due to unforeseen circumstances in the foreseeable future, we do not have a meal coordinator available for the Winnipeg Beach conglomerate credit meal program. A notice will be hung in the lodge tomorrow afternoon stating that meals in the lounge are canceled until further notice. For next week, December 2nd to the 6th, the Winnipeg Beach Village Donator Meals on Wheels will be prepared from New Harbor Lodge in Gimli. Our office staff will deliver them, weather permitting. Doing this may take an hour and a half to 2 hours out of the day, and I'm not sure how sustainable that would be moving forward should the circumstances remain the same. Without some kind of intervention, the Meals on Wheels may have to be canceled as well. If there's any other ideas or suggestions, please let me know. Or if someone knows anyone interested in being a relief meal coordinator, that would be appreciated too. That is from Seniors.
Tara, could we get that posted on the town website?
Pardon me? It's an email, correct?
Directed to you as the town rep? Okay. Thank you. So,
I'm thinking of some of the volunteer groups maybe want to step forward, like the Kiwanis or the Lakeside Lions. It would be much appreciated.
We'll
And
get
you'll
Jody
post
to
that?
post something on the website
On the,
and
yeah, on the,
our Facebook site.
And, yeah, okay, great. Anything else,
yeah,
Counselor?
I got Evergreen Basic Needs. Continue to see increased need for food hampers across all areas which we serve. The demand for assistance has remained consistently high, which reflects the ongoing challenges faced by households in various communities. Town of Winnipeg Beach hampers 39, adults 66, children 12. Now these include various municipalities, surrounding areas. To date, our totals are for 2024, we got 1,422 hampers for 2,230 adults and 780 children. This time, totals in 2023 were 1,203 hampers with 1,864 adults and 744 children. These numbers show a 12.8 increase in the number of food hampers that were needed within the past year. There's also a 14.4 increase in the number of adults, as well as 0.4 increase in the number of children who were aided by the food hamper program in the same period. So it's showing again that these needs are out there, they're needed in the communities. It's probably going to get worse. And hopefully volunteers will come forward, help out, give food hampers, etc. and help out these. That's the end.
Counselor Jarvis?
I just want, are those percentage increases system-wide, or are they respective to?
For 23 to 24.
System-wide?
Yeah.
Within the catch basin?
Within the county. Not just Winnipeg.
No, okay, thanks.
Counselor Jarvis, anything to report?
Selkirk weed, simple, 3% increase over our commitment to the financial commitment. But one thing I have mentioned is because they do, and I've mentioned this before in meetings, is that they, the weed control board sprays, Beachside Park, Larry Moore Park, and the Public Works Yard. I'm trying to get a breakdown of some of the herbicides and pesticides that they use. And the botanist, whatever, will Kirsten Pinafore will try and get some of that information together for the new year, so we know what we're dealing with in the yard and in the parks. Because again, there's some what they call level 1 weeds that are here, and they're using some pretty heavy duty stuff. So just trying to get a breakdown of what they use.
Counselor Kozlowski, no, sorry. Counselor Hall, anything to
No,
report?
nothing at this time.
It's been a bit of a busy month. I attended the Fireman's Dinner on November 2nd. Happy to support them with a auction donation. It was a sold-out dinner, which was nice, and I think the excitement of the raffle being drawn at the event certainly brought people out. And then the following morning, the Curling Club had their open house. As the town rep for the Curling Club, my apologies to the rest of council. I wasn't even aware of that happening until the night before, so I didn't get a chance to let any of you know if you were wanting to stop by. But they have floor curling, which is pretty amazing and is helping to increase activity at the Curling Club. At the ITD earlier in the month, all had our opportunity to speak with Cheryl from GovFox for the strat plan, so things are online with that. Attended the Remembrance Day service and laid a wreath on behalf of the town at the Legion. Had the opportunity to spend some time with some great volunteers in our community on the Destination Winnipeg Beach planning meeting on the 16th of November. And then this week, we had our AMM fall conference, and there were a couple things that came up that are extremely relative to us. Just give me a second. One of them was lobbying the AMM to lobby the province to allow communities that have provincial highways running through them to by bylaw control the speed themselves. So we've raised the issue several times about the changing speeds on Highway 9. So clearly we are not the only community struggling with trying to get speeds changed when there's a highway running through our town. So that resolution was passed, so AMM will be lobbying the province to turn that over to municipalities by bylaw. So it was nice to see that we're not alone in that struggle, and that AMM will be going to bat on that subject. And then there was the one about the cats, and it wasn't cats. What it was is it's to do with the dumping of animals, period, cats and dogs, and the exorbitant costs that communities are faced with because of the animal rights rules that we have, the animal rules that we have to follow regarding the compound time. Now, in speaking with a few other people, we are fortunate that our bylaw officer has an ability to rehome them, because some of the communities are dealing with vet bills to put the animals down. So that's being brought forward. AMM will be addressing the issue with the province to try and mitigate some of the costs. And that's what I.
Wasn't there a couple more, maybe the golf cart issue?
Well, did you wish to bring that up in your
Sure.
roundtable?
Yeah, that was brought up also, resolution golf carts, it was defeated 51% though, so they're not lobbying.
For what?
Yeah, it was, to allow taking golf, I guess Ontario, Saskatchewan, and some states allow golf carts.
But we defeated it. Manitoba defeated it.
No, it was at the AMM. It was a resolution at the AMM asking the AMM to lobby the province. That's the other one, okay. To lobby the province to allow municipalities to allow golf carts by bylaw, but also have part of it covered under provincial rules. And unfortunately, now.
Because we have government insurance, probably.
So it was not
Manitoba,
passed.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so it wasn't passed, so the AMM will not be lobbying the province. Doesn't mean it can't come up again in a different form or won't come up again.
But it's the insurance that kills it, because they're uninsurable. They have no seatbelts, no signal indicators, no bumpers. And because I remember going through this with the RCMP, the same thing. MPI will not insure golf carts in that.
That's right, but the purpose of this was for AMM to lobby the province to get them to start moving in the direction of licensing them. But it didn't go anywhere, so it's no further
Yeah, I think there were
discussion.
2 amendments to that. One was you had to be 16 years old. The other
Regardless,
was to have a driver's license.
But yeah, so it did not go forward.
You put a 12-year-old in there, you hit a bump, and that
Yeah.
gets a projectile.
Or if a car hits somebody driving like I did.
You'll knock everybody right out.
Okay.
Also, we have the Manitoba Road Fund, right? $65 million for the province is going to give to the municipalities for the next 5 years, and it will be divided by the population.
Yeah, I read that.
Just for clarification on the animal one, it was that further be resolved that the AMM lobby the province of Manitoba to provide resources towards addressing the abandonment of animals occurring in rural communities all over Manitoba, leading to animal rescue and shelter operations being consistently overwhelmed with found animals. So we are not the only ones who are dealing with costs, and that did go forward. Yes,
Yeah, there was
Councilor
a funny one too that came up with the guy was breeding rabbits and letting them loose in the town.
That's been common for years.
Yeah.
We used to
Okay.
have that.
Welcome to South.
And they knew who it was.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor? Carried. 14.1, correspondence. Be it hereby resolved that the correspondence be accepted and circulated. Can I get a member, please? Councillor Kozlowski, can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Jarvis. Any comments or Councillor Jarvis?
I just want to recognize that St. Michael's Church and Winnipeg Beach Legion sent us thank you letters for our donations. And our money to the church was put to good use at a cooler.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, here, be it hereby resolved that council moves in camera at 7:02 p.m. to discuss legal and personal matters, and be it further resolved that any matters discussed on camera be held confidential until such time as discussed in open camera. Can I get a member, please? Councillor Jarvis, can I get a seconder, please? Councillor Kozlowski, all in favor? Carried. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Did you see your report? Ready?
All right.
I said that before too.
There you go.
Ready? We going?
Yep.
Agenda item 16.1, legal, be it hereby resolved that council for the town of Winnipeg Beach reject the proposal submitted for file number C123-01-43235. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Jarvis. Could I get a seconder, please? Councillor Hole. All in favor? Carried. Be it hereby resolved that the regular meeting of council held November 28, 2024 be adjourned at 7:19 p.m. Could I get a mover, please? Councillor Kozlowski. Could I get a seconder, please?